Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, February 6, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so as usual, we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us, according to the latest Euro model that came out at 3:30 p.m. today, as well as the latest GFS model that came out at 6 p.m. So keep your eyes focused right here on the timestamp at the top as we go out to the next 168 hours that stands for the next 7 days. Also keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens that represents inches of rainfall. So as we head into Friday, we can see that we definitely are going to be getting a somewhat isolated afternoon rainfall for sure. This is 18th on Friday, which is actually 1 p.m. and we do see the dots of greens that represent some amount of moisture across sections of the island. Heading into Saturday, we can see that as we head throughout the day on Saturday, not really much to see in terms of rainfall. Maybe some isolated afternoon rainfall, but that's basically it. Sunday, however, we see the morning rainfall returning to northeastern parishes, then affecting sections of some central and western parishes during Sunday afternoon. Monday, we see something similar for northeastern Jamaica, with southern and western Jamaica getting in on some of the afternoon rainfall. Tuesday, not really seeing much rainfall across the island, just some dots of greens in and around the island on the north coast during the afternoon. We'll see how that actually goes. Heading into Wednesday, we do see an abundance of moisture coming into portion of eastern parishes for Wednesday morning. Then Wednesday afternoon, we see the moisture spreading across sections of central and western parishes. And we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Thursday, February 13, 2025. And we don't see much happening across Jamaica at that time, but we do see a lot of moisture across the Dominican Republic, the waters to the south of Hispaniola, as well as the waters to the southwest of Jamaica into portions of eastern Honduras and Nicaragua. Let us see what the latest GFS is showing for the same time period. So we can see that as we head into Friday, we do see some moisture across northeastern parishes on Friday morning, then sections of some southern or western parishes during Friday afternoon. Saturday, definitely some maybe isolated afternoon rainfall, just like what the Euro was showing for Saturday afternoon. Sunday, we see the morning rainfall across northeastern Jamaica, then southern and western parishes during the afternoon. Monday, we do see the morning rainfall again across northeastern Jamaica, then sections of some southern and western parishes again during the afternoon. Tuesday, something similar. Wednesday, not really much to see here, but heading into Thursday, we do see some isolated showers for eastern Jamaica, both in the morning as well as the afternoon. And we're going to be stopping it right there on Thursday, February 13. And we're going to be comparing what the Euro and the GFS were showing. Clearly, we do see the dots of greens across eastern Jamaica. We can also see the moisture across eastern Honduras, Nicaragua right there. We can even see that cold front and the moisture associated with it, stretching from Texas all across the southern U.S. into portion of the northeastern U.S. We see that on both the Euro and the GFS models. Either way, in terms of the accumulated precipitation forecast from the Euro and the GFS models for the time period from now all the way up to February 13, 2025, clearly we can see that the most rainfall should continue to plague Northern South America, and portions of Central America, because those are the areas that are shaded in the dark. Red represents 2 inches of rainfall, the purples into the pinks, that represents 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. And we're referring to specifically eastern Venezuela, sections of Trinidad and Tobago, southern Venezuela, western Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana right here, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, eastern Nicaragua, eastern Honduras, northern Honduras, section of northern Guatemala, especially the northeastern portion of the Guatemala, Belize, and the Yucatan Peninsula. These are the areas that have the most rainfall in store over the next 7 days. You can also see rainfall especially across the far eastern Cuba, northeastern Jamaica, eastern Hispaniola. We're talking about the Dominican Republic, eastern Puerto Rico into the US and British Virgin Islands, anywhere from Antigua and Barbuda southward into Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, spilling into section of Barbados. And we're looking at the GFS right here, and if we compare it to the latest Euro model, we can actually see the consensus. We have the rainfall definitely expected for the same areas, especially where we have the dark reds into purples and pinks across Northern and South America into Central America. Those areas could definitely pick up the most rainfall over the next 7 days and definitely get in on some amount of isolated flash flooding, if not some amount of landslides. So we just hope and trust that the people who reside in those areas are taking necessary precautions so that they're not that drastically affected by what's to come. But if we switch gears and take a look at the close-up of Jamaica in terms of our accumulated precipitation over the next 7 days, we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS are adamant that the most rainfall should be across sections of some northern and eastern parishes, definitely anywhere from St. Anne eastward, St. Mary, especially across Portland. And we see those greens into the yellows that the Euro is showing, represents all the way up to 37 millimeters of rainfall. The GFS only going all the way up to 25 millimeters of rainfall. We see that it's definitely decreasing because we've been getting that rainfall recently for sure, and I'm sure the people are grateful for that. And whatever happens within the next 7 days, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted on our other social media platforms. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see some frontal systems right here across the northern portion of North Atlantic, and we can also see a ridge of high pressure is represented by the H right here to the north of the Cabo Verde Islands, and we know it's responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can actually make out the clouds associated with the numerous frontal systems extending all the way from the United States all the way across the waters into Bermuda and areas east of there. And we can also make out the low-level clouds into mid-level clouds pushing from east to west from the main development region into the Caribbean, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure, its easterly flow, bring all of those clouds, some of which have some amount of moisture within them, across the basin. We can even make out the upper level wind shear shearing those high cirrus clouds off from northern South America over into portion of the main development region. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday, February 6, 2025. If you remember yesterday's video, we highlighted the fact that there would have been some amount of showers affecting sections of some northern and eastern parishes during Thursday morning. Some of this was expected to spill into sections of some southern and western parishes as well, especially during the afternoon. And what ended up happening? First of all, we know northern parishes, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. Southern parishes, and we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. Well, eastern parishes, and we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Central parishes, and we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While western parishes, and we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? As early as 5:05 a.m., the infrared close-up satellite imagery of Jamaica was not only posted here on our Twitter page with the Jamaica, but it was also posted on our Instagram page with the Jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. And we can definitely make out on the infrared close-up satellite imagery this morning. The clouds, look at all of the abundance of clouds coming in from the east to affect sections of St. Thomas, Portland, definitely sections of St. Anne, St. Mary. We're getting in on some amount of clouds for sure. And all of this was steering towards the west. And I'm sure that you saw that as soon as the sun came up, we got some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers. And it even extended all the way into 9:21 a.m. when the visible satellite image was posted, still highlighting the same. The very clouds that we saw coming in from the east were now situated across sections of central Jamaica, still bringing overcast skies, if not some rainfall, to section of eastern Jamaica. We see the blanket of clouds extending from Trelawney eastward, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, so too Manchester eastward, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas definitely got under overcast skies, if not some isolated shores. And then by around 2:05 p.m., the visible satellite images were posted, highlighting what was taking place. We're still getting in on the cloud cover, pushing in from east to west across the island. St. Thomas was definitely getting in on a break at that time, but we're still getting in on some cloud cover, bring some overcast skies, if not some isolated shores, the section of Portland, St. Mary, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary for sure. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before we lost the sunlight, we can see that even as we're losing the sunlight, we're still having some amount of clouds, bringing some overcast skies, if not some isolated shores, to sections of some southwestern parishes, maybe St. Elizabeth at that time. But we can see that central and eastern Jamaica is starting to clear out for the most part. And we can see it right here on the infrared satellite imagery, still showing those milky whitish colors that represent the cloud cover across the western half of the island. And we have See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing us confirmation that it definitely rained in Crossroads. This was today at around 2:13 p.m. And we can see people walking with their umbrella. You can see people in their vehicles with their windshield wipers on for sure. You can see the hills of St. Andrew definitely getting some amount of rainfall, just some light to moderate rainfall, nothing too significant. Either way, we're grateful. We're in the month of February. It's our dry season and we're getting rainfall. We're definitely grateful. And sometimes when we get rainfall this early in the year, it's a bit foreshadowing or foreboding for what's to come for the rest of the year. Hopefully it's nothing too significant that's life-threatening. Just get some rain to keep water in our pipes. Hopefully no storms like Beryl again, but I don't want anything like that at all. But we're definitely grateful for the cooler than average temperatures that these clouds and the rainfall brought as well. And even the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, confirming the rainfall across the island today. Even although it's not 100% to scale, it does paint quite a picture for we might have had the rainfall today across the island. And we definitely have some comments here confirming the rainfall for sure. Missy B 3416 stating heavy rain all morning in Claremont. Also have Gail Santa stating overcast. St. Mary, thanks for confirming. We also have on our TikTok page Blue Girl stating rain, rain. I wonder what parish that is. And even on our Instagram page, we had Capricorn _ Savage Queen stating been raining in Glengough, St. Catherine from early morning. Portmore Bell _ Nas stating quite cloudy in Portmore. We have Devina 16 drizzling on and off in Hanover. Peaches _ Ann _ Creams stating it's been raining in the Dry Harbor Mountains since October last year. Thank you guys for confirming. Either way, the last comment here, well, the last few comments here on our Facebook page, we had Nelly Nemoy stating rain in Portland. Linda McFarlane, non-stop heavy rain in West Portland. Thank you for confirming that. Even on our Twitter page, we had Joe Mark Park stating raining in Northern Clarendon now. And Deacon D stating I am in St. Mary and it has been raining from about 9 a.m. Thank you all for confirming what the weather is like today. Thanks for confirming the prediction that was made. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what's taking place right now. So we're reloading the image, and we're going to be looking at the latest still image from the Weather Nerds website showing 23:55 UTC, which is actually around 6:55 p.m. So this just came out 5, 10, 15, 17 minutes ago, considering that it's 7:12 now. As a matter of fact, a brand new image is supposed to come out showing the 7:05 infrared. So let's reload this. We have the very latest. Alright, here we go. Updated now, 0005 UTC. So this just came out 7 minutes ago, considering that it's 7:12 p.m. now, so 7:05 p.m. This is what's taking place. All we're seeing is just some milky white shades that represents cloud cover off to the west of the island, as well as across sections of St. Elizabeth, sections of St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland. But the question is, do we have rainfall within all of that? Unfortunately, we don't know from the Cuban Doppler radar imagery here, because it's still showing February 3 into February 4, and today is February 6th. It's still glitching out, boy. Hopefully they get that fixed. Hopefully the Met Service gets the Jamaican Doppler radar fixed, so that we don't have to be depending on this. Taking a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban naval radar imagery, we can see some isolated showers across eastern Cuba, and we can also see some amount of isolated showers across sections of the western peninsula of Haiti. Is it gonna load for me? Here we go. But not seeing much across. Well, guess I just saw a little thing of rainfall across Portland, but that's basically it. Maybe it's just a glitch, or could it be rainfall? Sure, it's not, especially since we don't see anything right here. But if we take a look at the Cayman radar, not seeing much of anything right now across southern Cuba, western Jamaica, or the Cayman Islands. Just some isolated shores to the west of the Cayman Islands right there. And if we take a look at what's happening right now from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing the flat bridge camp, you can clearly see people in their vehicles going about their business. Nothing significant in terms of bad weather. The Rio Cobra definitely chilling as we speak. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams for your viewing pleasure, and they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. Alright, so let's go. If we take a look right here, let's see. Yes, right here. The temperatures, we see that it's around 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay and Kingston. And by around 4 a.m. on Friday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 22 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Friday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Friday when calculated. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some orange colors. And we know that the orange colors are representative of at least all the way above of about 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. I know the normal temperatures for the month of February across Jamaica is around 86.4 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's converted to degrees Celsius, that's around 30.1 degrees Celsius. So it should be receiving anywhere from 30.1 degrees Celsius all the way up to 32.2 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Friday. And we have at least one maintenance outage advisor here for Friday, February 7, 2025. We definitely have to highlight these because we know that when we have power outages, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our AC or a fan to cool us down. So if you live or work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way so that they can plan accordingly. We're referring to Central Avenue off West Avenue in St. Andrew from the time periods from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we have some tips here to beat the heat if tomorrow is a bit too hot for you. It says here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others including children, elderly people with medical conditions and pets. Be cool, stay indoors and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated throughout the day. Even if you're not thirsty, drink lots of water throughout the day. Put away those sugar drinks, drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. And we can see the abundance of dry air stretching all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean. We can clearly see that the driest air is still right here across the waters to the west of Africa, in and around the Cabo Verde Islands right here. That's where we have the darkest reds into whites within those reds. And we can also see an abundance of moist air across the eastern Pacific. Anywhere we see blues, that's a lot of moist air, especially right down here, the intertropical convergence zone. And we see the low end of the scale, we're talking about the yellows. Definitely across portion of the central to the eastern Caribbean. That's all we want to see. The more yellows we see, the more moist the air can be, the more rainfall that we get. And we're indeed grateful for that. We're also grateful that for 8 a.m. on Friday, the Saharan dust forecast is not showing much of anything across North America, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, Northern South America, or Central America, because all the Saharan dust can be seen right here if you can make it out. Just some slight browns right here across the main development region. And we're glad that that's what we're seeing, and we're not seeing that vigorous plume that we know is represented by the dark shades of browns that we know can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons, asthma, sinusitis. So we're grateful right now that the Saharan dust is not doing too much. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we've been seeing this for the past week. The light shades of blues to dark shades of blues extending from the Gulf of Mexico into the northern or northwestern Caribbean. That we know represents what we see here on the key on the bottom right. That's 0.5 for meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height. While we have an abundance of purples into pinks right here to the south of Jamaica, all the way down into the southwestern Caribbean, to the south of Hispaniola, in and around Puerto Rico, extending into the eastern Caribbean, especially the waters to the east of the islands. Definitely anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 3 meter wave heights in some spots. Waters to the north of Jamaica only up to 1.4 meter wave heights expected. Waters to the south of Jamaica 2 meter wave heights right here to the south of Manchester, 2.1 right here to the south of St. Thomas. And all of this is because of the winds that are expected. We can clearly see why the winds are so low over here across the Gulf of Mexico. Definitely some dull greens representing 5 to 10 knots. Brighter greens into the Caribbean. We're talking about anywhere from 15 all the way up to 20 knots. Definitely all the way up to 25 knots where we have these yellows. And we can see the flow of the winds coming in from the east across the eastern Caribbean. When it gets into the southwestern Caribbean curving southward, we see the strongest wind right here to the south of Jamaica and the south of Haiti. And if we zoom in a bit on Jamaica, we can see what's expected. Up to at least 13 knots on the north coast. On the south coast, up to 13 knots as well. Definitely gusting even higher the more out to sea we go, 18 knots right there. And we can also see the least amount of winds across inland areas of some central and western parishes. That's where we could get on some amount of daytime heating, isolated afternoon rainfall for sure. So look out for that just in case. And with the upper level winds coming in from the west northwest, any rainfall that we could get will definitely favor southern parishes for sure, especially if we get some cumulonimbus cloud. Would definitely linger most of the rainfall across southern Jamaica. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 5 a.m. on Friday, and we can clearly see some dots of blues across the waters to the north of the island. Some of this could definitely spill into Portland, St. Mary. You see some of this right here off the coast of St. Anna and St. James on the Euro. We'll see exactly what unfolds. We also see an abundance of moisture to the southeast of Jamaica on the Euro. GFS, we do see the moisture, but it's not as robust as what we see on the Euro. Skipping ahead though to about 3 p.m. we see the blues represent rainfall extending across especially central and western parishes. And even on the GFS we see something similar, central and western parishes. Clearly the Euro is more robust than the GFS. Either way, we're seeing agreement, we're seeing consensus that there's going to be some amount of isolated afternoon rainfall on Friday. So look out for that. Even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that there should be some amount of rainfall in and around section of the island tomorrow. The Euro going all the way up to 0.35 for an inch of rainfall. The GFS going only all the way up to 0.14 of an inch of rainfall. We'll see exactly what unfolds, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. And we're indeed grateful that we're going to be receiving rainfall at all, because we're in the month of February. And in February, we usually receive all the way up to at least 19 millimeters of rainfall. In Kingston, in Montego Bay, we usually receive all the way up to 2.9 inches of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives for the month of February in terms of rainfall, or for any other month, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have some amount of clouds bring some overcast skies, if not some amount of thunderstorms. The portions of northern South America as usual. We have the low level to mid level clouds passing through the Caribbean with some amount of moisture pushing from east to west for sure. Windward Islands, Leeward Islands, waters to the south of Hispaniola heading into Central America, getting in on that moisture. Let us see what's happening on the Doppler radar imagery of the northeastern Caribbean. We can actually make out the greens represent some hit or miss isolated light to moderate rainfall in and around Antigua and Barbuda, in and around sections of Puerto Rico, eastern and northern Puerto Rico. And if we load these images from earlier today at around 1:30 p.m, we can see the flow of the rainfall for sure, coming in more so from the east, definitely affecting sections of the US and British Virgin Islands, northern Puerto Rico, section of the Leeward Islands for sure. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see that east-northeasterly or northeasterly flow of the moisture coming into portion of Barbados as we speak. Moisture coming into portion of the Grenadines and Grenada. Lots of moisture coming into portion of St. Lucia, Martinique, right here. Maybe some of that extending all the way down to Trinidad. Taking a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images now, we can see the moisture passing to the north of the ABC Islands. Some moisture right here across northern Guatemala, Belize. And if we take a look at where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Friday. And we can clearly see that the most rainfall should be where we have all of these oranges into reds that represents anywhere from 0.75 of an inch of rainfall all the way up to 1 inch of rainfall. And we're referring to Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, section of Trinidad and Tobago, section of Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, section of northern Guatemala, eastern Belize. Some of this moisture extending all the way across the Caribbean into Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, the US and British Virgin Islands, eastern Puerto Rico, eastern Hispaniola, we're talking about the Dominican Republic, northern Haiti, and eastern Cuba. And we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus. They're both in agreement about this forecast. I know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.